Welcome to Mr. Rehak's 25 Things to Know About the ACT English Test. Everything I'm going to tell you is easy and will help you score well on the ACT. I guarantee it. Now before we get started, I want to make one quick point about distractors. All standardized tests are designed to ensure that not everyone gets an answer right. But the answers have to be right. So test writers have developed ways to make sure not everyone gets those answers right. They insert what are called distractors to trick some people into getting the answers wrong. If you follow my instructions, you won't get tricked by distractors, but will instead learn to recognize and ignore them. Let's move on. Rule number 1, be concise. Short equals good, or keep it simple, students. KISS. Remember, the longer the answer on the ACT test, the more likely it is to be wrong. In writing, short is almost always better. And here's a hint for you. If it's a long answer, it's probably a distractor. Rule number 2, avoid redundancy. Redundancy means repeating things over and over and over and over again. It's annoying, isn't it? For example, he was exhausted and tired after working all day. Now that's redundant because exhausted means tired, so there's no reason to include both. Rule number 3, know what a preposition and a prepositional phrase is. Prepositional phrases are used as distractors on the ACT. Prepositional phrases are used to separate subject from verbs and therefore confuse you when deciding which verb tense to use in a sentence. Examples of prepositions are things like of, on, it, at, with, without, from, behind, between, among. There are about 100 of them, and you know them all. I've given you a website here to look for more prepositions. Rule number 4, make sure the subject and the verb agree. Listen to this sentence. The crowd of little kids makes it hard for the juggler to perform. The subject is crowd, which is singular, and the verb has to therefore be third person singular, makes. But the problem is, of little kids distracts you and makes you think that it's actually a plural subject, but it's not. So remember, throw away the prepositions, and you'll be able to more easily figure out which is the subject and which is the verb. Rule number 5, watch for pronouns and antecedents. All pronouns must have an antecedent. An antecedent is simply a word that comes before the pronoun. For example, I like Joe, he is my friend. He, of course, is the pronoun. Joe is the antecedent because he refers to Joe. It is incorrect to have a pronoun and its antecedent not match up. For example, the dogs each sat separately from one another, licking its tail. From one another is a prepositional phrase used to distract you from the fact that the subject is the plural noun dogs, so the pronoun must be the plural form their.
This is the end of part 1. Thanks for watching. To learn more test tips, check out other videos by JCR1 on YouTube.